I'm just buying time here. No rush. Let me know when you get in here. If you're on the YouTube, do me a favor. There we go. Can you hear me? Coach Zach, Elevate Social. Just let me know that you can hear me. And we'll get rolling. It'll be quick. Quick and easy. Waiting for somebody to confirm that they can indeed hear me. Cool. Appreciate it. All right. So, what's up, guys? The first 2 minutes, if you watch this replay, it's just me clicking around. If you just got here, you don't have to go watch the replay. You might see things pop up on my screen, and that's because I'm just playing with the new software. Okay. No, I see Guardian here. So we launched Thursday. Okay. I'm going to walk you through some stuff, some strategy, and I'm going to, near the end, answer some questions. Cool. First of all, Wolfden, just had that up as a placeholder. You can see let's see where we're at here. Let's take a quick look at how we're doing on the Coin Sniper. All right, we're doing all right. Let's hit 500 by the time we launch. How about that? All right, so everybody, if you have not yet, log in, vote. I already voted today, so I'm not going to bother logging in. Log in, vote. Let's get that 500 well before we launch. All right. Just we're going to talk about it a little bit. And I encourage you, if pay attention to the content here. And if anybody asks any questions that are answered right now, point them back to this video. You can use this URL. It will be unlisted. But if you give them the URL, they'll be able to find it. And we're just going to zoom through some pre-sale strategy, right? Just a little perspective and a way to play this and potentially other pre-sales. Kevin is the king of pre-sales. So I defer to him for especially the DXLs and all that stuff. All right. Okay. So if you need help, if you are not currently in the Discord, please, somebody said today, and I totally get it, but somebody said today, hey, blah, 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 I need help. I can't get in the Telegram. It's a cool, here, we'll figure out Telegram, get in the Discord. And said, I'm already in the Discord, but I'm not a big fan of it. Well, appreciate that, but convenience is not your friend. The fact that you could jump into a Telegram and say, when moon, what's the contract, yada, 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 without looking for anything or being self-sufficient is not your friend. So if you do not like the place where stuff is hosted, where your feedback is welcome, that does not make it anybody else's responsibility for you to understand what's going on. Okay? So if you do need help, join the Wolfden Discord, because this is where we have the most amount of support ready to help you. I have people in my Twitter inbox asking for help. Right? It's not good for anybody. It's not good for this project if I have to chase down messages all day long. So join the Wolfden Discord. It's perfectly okay to ask a question in Telegram. Don't be upset if we tell you to go to the Discord or watch a video or do something that requires you to be self-sufficient in some way. All right. So do me a favor. Let me know in the chat that you are ready. It's a super simple 3-step process to make sure you're ready for tomorrow and other pre-sales. I'm going to give you some examples of what it might look like. Okay. Here we go. Step 1. Tonight or tomorrow, swap your BNB for BUSD. You should have BNB because we have been telling you all weekend the one requirement is to have BNB ready. That is the one thing we know is a step you should take. So you swap your BNB for BUSD. Let me show you how easy that is. Go to Pancake. I don't know what wallet this is. Whatever. Go to Pancake. Put BNB at the top. Put BUSD at the bottom. Hey, if you need the contract, we post it in Telegram. I'll get it to you. I could just type in BUSD, it populates. That might not be the case for you. And then you swap them. That's it. People are really good at making things super complicated. You just swap your BNB that you should already have ready right here on Pancake, which you should already know how to use, for BUSD. Now you can say, I want to go to BNB, right? And you get 616 BUSD. If you want to max it out, you just come down here and you type in 650 and it'll auto-populate the BNB that you need. Okay? Super simple. So do that tonight or tomorrow. You got well over 24 hours to just swap this. Okay? Don't complicate that part. Help other people if they need help. All right, there's no minimum. 250 BUSD max per wallet. If you want to try to rig the game and use two separate wallets, you can do that. You will probably get wrecked trying to switch between wallets. Okay. But you want to try, go ahead. I don't recommend it because when it comes time to sell or whatever else, you're going to have to swap between wallets, and all that rushing is going to make you panic and do stupid stuff. Okay. Now here's step 2. This is the hardest one for all of you. Wait. Wait. Seems to be the one thing nobody can do in this space. You can tell I'm losing my voice. Okay, we're going to wait. And the Wolfie's Telegram, as well as Astronaut, are going to post the pre-sale link. You probably will not be able to find it beforehand. Okay? But if you are hanging out in the Telegram or the Discord, leading up, hair before 8 a.m. Pacific, and you are paying attention, you will see it. Don't come dropping into the Telegram at 6:45 a.m. Pacific saying, when launch? Are we live? When Pancake? I will probably just kick you out. And then you won't see it on Pancake until many, many, many minutes or hours later. And you'll be late. Okay? So step 2 is wait. Of course, in the meantime, hit the coin sniper, retweet things, build buy pressure. Build buy pressure, because this is going to fill up relatively quick. There's a $65K cap. Okay, $65,000 cap. That's going to fill up pretty quick. And what we want is we want a whole bunch of people that wanted to put in more than this max or wanted to put something in, and they didn't make it in time. They weren't prepared. They didn't click the buttons fast enough. They didn't set their timer. They totally missed this video, this call, because those are the ones that buy on the launch. It's the buy pressure. We're going to talk about buying on the launch in just a minute. All right, so you wait for the Wolfie's Telegram. Now here's step 3. Here's what is actually the hardest. Waiting is pretty hard. Step 3. For the rest of the day Thursday, don't be a neurotic mess. Do not be a lunatic. Okay? Step 3, don't be a lunatic. I'm going to give you some tools to help you with that. And I'm going to be as consistent as possible. And what I mean by that is we don't want to compare apples to oranges. So we're going to compare what Guardian launch could look like compared to the Wolfie's launch, because it is the same team, right? That's us that is doing it. Everybody clear on that? Swap BNB for BUSD. Make sure you're doing all the things you can do to grow the Telegram in between now and then. But the important thing is that you wait. Do not click on anything. Do not send any BUSD. Do not go to any contracts that was not posted by me or by Dr. Knot or somebody, an admin in the Astronaut Telegram or the Wolfies Telegram. A whole bunch of people are going to message you. Say, hey, send me money if you want to get in the pre-sale. Block them. Mark them as spam. Get rid of them. This is the only place you're going to see it. Okay? And then don't be a neurotic mess. Let me show you what happens when you're a neurotic mess. This was Wolfies. Okay? This was Wolfies. That was about 40x at the top. From pre-sale price to the top. I think it was a hair under 40x, okay? So, that's what it looks like. I'm going to refresh this real quick, so I want to give you some perspective. Now, who's here? Who's here for the Wolfies launch? Just drop in the comment. I'm a little bit quieter today. My dogs, my Wolfies were sick all night. All right, let me show you what happens at a launch. We open somewhere down here. All right, somewhere around here is the pre-sale price. Now, invariably, what happens is people don't get in the pre-sale, or they want to get in as soon as possible, and they're not prepared. They're not prepared. So to prepare, you have the Guardian loaded into Pancake. You have your BNB or BUSD, whatever we add liquidity for, loaded into Pancake. You have your slippage set. It's up to you what you want to use. You can go low slippage during low volume. But if you want to get in the chaos and the craze, then you might want to use high slippage. We'll give you suggestions on that. But big picture here, okay? Let's think big picture. This is what the top of Wolfies look like on day 2. This is day 2. Look how silly that is relative to day 1. Now, there were people, see these cells right here? There were people that got so caught up in this madness and this big green candle, and look how big that looks at scale. Right? When you scale it down, it looks like, oh, this thing's running away. I'm missing it all. I got to get in. And they were rushing so much. Failed transaction, trying to push it through, that a bunch of people bought in at the top right here. Okay? Psychologically, that can be difficult. As you see, it doesn't really matter because it's, look where we ended up. But a bunch of people bought at the top right here. And a few things happened. One, they bought at the top because they haven't done pre-sales. And what we know is there's going to be a bunch of people aping in here, and then there's going to be a bunch of people that don't understand the scale and scope of these things over time, and they're going to sell right at the top here, right near the top, okay? So a few things. 1, get in the pre-sale if you want to get in the pre-sale. 2, be prepared. Have your Pancake swap loaded, have your currency ready, have Guardian loaded into your Pancake swap, and we will give you the contract address, okay? And as soon as it is live for trading and we give you the go-ahead and say, hey, it's live for trading, you can push that transaction through. If it fails, it's up to you. You can try again. What I recommend is if it fails a second or third time, you step back and you wait. Okay? That second or third failed transaction is going to put you somewhere right at the top here. And we're no longer even making the decision we thought we were making. Right? Let me explain. We saw, when you see a chart, and it's sitting right here at, let's say, $5.99. Right? 0.0000599. Yes, I want to buy there. And your transaction fails. And instead of deciding if this is still a place you want to buy in, you just start pushing the transaction through, right? You panic and you run it, and you run it again, and you run it again, and you run it again, and you run it again. And what happens is what you end up buying in is not what you intended to buy in. And then you're a mental wreck. So I had a large number of people message me upset. And there are people in the group, in the Telegram group, complaining because they bought the top right here. Well, I tried to get in. Well, you said to wait until you gave us the go-ahead, and now I bought at the top, and I paid more than everybody in here, and all this nonsense. Right? A lot of them sold. They were just, they by the time they realized what they had done, after trying to push through all these transactions, they were like, oh, it's the top, it's going to go down, and they saw some red candles, and they sold. That's okay. What I recommend is you be calmer and more collected and study these things, because look what happens. Without fail, you're going to get a red candle or 5 or 10, because people are going to want to take their profits. There's going to be people coming into this that have never heard of us. They just want to put in $100 and pull out $300 and be done. Do you think those people that were so upset about buying in the top here, do you think they're not going to be happy when they zoom out and look at it up here, or even where it's at now? We are still sitting, this is where we're sitting right now. We're sitting almost 4x from where people were complaining, because all they could see was this really short time frame. They're working on a really tiny time preference. So what I recommend, again, have your pancake swap ready, push the transaction through. You can decide whether you want to do it once or twice or 3 times, but have the wherewithal to stop and step back and wait. Because you can see here, there's some red candles. Let me make this a little bigger, see? If you're not so busy trying to push a transaction through without thinking about what you're doing, you'll buy in way up here, and there's an opportunity right here. You'll buy in way up here, and there's an opportunity right here. Okay, the few of you, the 20 of you that are here, I want you to be calm and collected. I want you to make good decisions and understand that these things, look at this. There were people complaining and selling right here. A big reason why they were complaining right here is because they thought they were buying down here. And in their panic and their FOMO, they didn't stop to consider that after a few failed transactions, the price had changed. Now, the reality is, no matter when, as you can see here, no matter when you get in one of our launches, if you're in the first 2 days, you're going to be fine, which is another reason not to panic or to FOMO. Let me read the comments real quick. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay, you can study a lot of these, and you're going to see the same thing. Most don't have this kind of sustainability. Like I said, we're sitting 4x over the peak of day 2. The peak of day 2 is when not everybody, a lot of people sold. A lot of people said, it already had its run. It's over. It already pumped. And they missed this next 10x here. Okay, a lot of people are doing that over here. And guess what? They're going to miss the next 10x. The point is, there's no reason to rush. Now, if it is life or death to you, here's a perspective. If it is life or death to you to get in right here at 71 instead of here at 96, and it's obvious by your behavior and your reaction and the things that you say, what you're telling us is that you are a pumper and dumper, because anybody with a longer time horizon isn't really going to care about the difference between 41 and 68 here. So hopefully that makes sense, right? It's not hard to find the people in Telegram groups that are clearly, very clearly trying to pump and dump and saying self-serving things in the guise of being helpful, right? When somebody goes, hurry, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. A lot of times what they're saying is, hey, you guys, can you buy stuff so I can get out at a profit? Self-serving. So we're not going to fall for that crap in our group. We're going to make decisions. We're going to say, hey, look, I believe in Wolfies, and it just dipped down, almost tapped the VWAP here. This is the volume weighted average price, this little blue line. And I think it's going to the moon, so I'm going to buy some. We never go into a Telegram group and go, oh, everybody's telling me to buy the dip, because those people are, by and large, just trying to get themselves out. If they weren't, they would not be in the Telegram group. They would be secretly buying the dip. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense, and you can see Guardians will have much, much more volume coming through. So it might be a little more volatile, but we have to maintain this perspective on time. At the time, this seemed like the biggest pump in the world. And if you got it at the top, it seemed like, man, what a horrible decision. Everything sucks. Blah, 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 blah. Just got to zoom out a little bit. Okay? So that's how I think about pre-sales. I want to get in the pre-sale. I try to get on the whitelist. If I don't get on the whitelist, I get in the pre-sale. And the pre-sale always has a cap. I almost always take my full allocation. And then I play them exactly like that. I will try to get in once. And if it fails, I will sit back and I will watch the chart for a minute and I will pick my entry. Calm and collected. Okay? Nobody, I don't want to say nobody, most people in the Telegram groups they are not advising you with your best interest in mind. They probably bought the top and are panicking because they're losing their money. And their solution is to try to get all of you to bail them out. We're not going to do that. We're not going to fall for it anyway. All right. Any questions? Drop them in the chat. We're gonna have more stuff for you. Let me pull up a better screen. There we go. Tomorrow, I got to finish dialing in this contract and test everything and make sure it works with the astronaut developer. If you are in the whitelist, can you participate in the pre-sale with the same wallet? Yeah, that's fine. You can participate with the same wallet. No problem. So you'll be able to. We'll get whitelist allocations tomorrow. You'll know exactly what your allocation is. The price, I was creative with the price. It's going to open at a very unique price, and I will explain that pricing to everybody in the Wolfden. So all Wolfies holders will understand why exactly the price is what it is and why it was designed that way, as well as the supply. The supply was also, we spent a lot of time getting the supply right. It's going to look strange to people that have played in the shitcoin space. It is not a typical pricing. It's not a typical price to launch at, and it's not a typical supply. Right? It's a total supply. And we'll explain why, and it'll all come together, and it is extremely bullish if you understand it. Last thing, again, I'm losing my voice. I was up all night with my dogs. They're half husky, half Arctic wolf. Their mom was an Arctic wolf. A few questions about the market, the state of the market. You know, Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin's going down, Ethereum's going down. Wouldn't it be better to launch in a green market? And my opinion and my stance is no. Would it be easier? Maybe. Everybody that got rich, almost everybody that got rich before the 2018 real estate bubble burst was a fraud, right? It's easy to knock it out of the park when you got the wind at your back. It's a lot harder. You actually have to be good at what you do, and you have to deliver, and you have to take time with people. Like, we spent a lot of time with you guys. So frankly, excuse my language, I give zero fucks about what the market is doing. If I can't launch this and we can't build this ecosystem in the current market, then we're not very good, are we? And most people want to hide behind that. Most people want to stall and blame the market conditions. Some people don't have the confidence. I probably have an irrational amount of confidence. But more importantly, if I am lacking skill sets, if we are lacking skill sets as a team, as a community, as developers, as marketers, as service providers, which we are doing in the Discord, I want to know. I don't want to hide behind a pumping market. Everybody else will, and that's fine. What that means is that when we are successful, there is a huge, huge, huge advantage. Things will pump. Everybody will win, right? If you take an amateur rock climber and a world-class rock climber, and it's a beautiful day out, they look pretty similar. When a storm rolls in, it becomes pretty obvious who the world-class climber is, right? We need to be world-class at what we do. Otherwise, this is really important for what we're going to share with you guys about building sustainable, anti-fragile wealth. If it does not launch, if we cannot make it work in a down market, and it is not a bear market, by the way. It is not a bear market. We're in like a mid-cycle dip, but it's not a bear market. If we can't make this work, if we can't knock this out of the park under current market conditions, then it's fragile. It is likely to fall apart the next time there's a down market, which means at best, everything you do, everything you learn, a lot of people found out this last couple months because they were playing on Ethereum, playing on BSC. They were having $30,000 days in profit, just aping into things. They started buying shit they couldn't afford. They started extrapolating these gains out over time, thinking they're going to be millionaires or multimillionaires. And look what happened. Because it was fragile. Because it was the wind at their back carrying them. And what I don't want to do is help anybody else build something fragile. And I sure shit am not going to build something fragile. So that is why, and I appreciate the concerns about the market conditions. I do not care what the market conditions are. External forces are not going to change our priorities. Right, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys you don't have to agree, but as a community, if we can align, then we can blow right through any kind of market. I want all of you to go into a real bear market and a real recession, because there is a real recession coming. Probably not for years. Talk about that later. And not give, excuse my language, but not give a fuck to where the external forces, the state of the market, does not make or break you. and it will not make or break us. How do you take into account the fact that only a small percentage of people will be joining the pre-sale are here learning what is important to know? Well, that's always true. Right? It's always true. Think of any, there's a book called Diffusion of Innovations, but you think of any innovation, it's always a small handful of people that learn what they need to know before everybody else. And if they adopt the ideas and the concepts, the people around them will see it. And when people see it, it's called trialability and observability. When people see it, they will start asking questions and they will start adopting it. But most people, the early adopters, all the early investors in Wolfies, bias what is called competence credibility. Competence credibility. It means I don't even need to look at the contract. I trust that Nick is competent. It would be outrageous for me to expect hundreds of thousands of people to feel that way. But I didn't need hundreds of thousands of people. I only had a few in the pre-sale. And when people saw that, we developed what is called safety credibility. Most of the population needs safety credibility. You cannot teach it to them. You cannot give them facts. You cannot have them sit on YouTube videos like this. It doesn't mean anything. They can understand it intellectually, but what most people need is to just watch it happen before they assign it credibility. Okay? So a lot of times we have this feeling. It's a great question, by the way. We have this feeling that, man, everybody needs to know what I know. I must educate them. And it's just banging our head up against the wall. The pre-sale is all handled through PancakeSwap. No. The pre-sale is not handled through PancakeSwap. It is handled through AstroRocket. Trading can happen on PancakeSwap, but that is not the pre-sale. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. The pre-sale is on AstroRocket. We'll make sure that you have an explanation. I will be live in voice chat. Dr. Knott and his team, the astronaut team, will be helpful as well. We'll make sure everybody knows what they're doing. But it's going through AstroRocket. The pre-sale will open, and then it will close either when a timer hits 0 or we hit our cap. I don't expect any problems hitting our cap. And then we will announce how to trade. At this point, I cannot promise that you will launch or you will be able to buy from Pancake right away. It's very likely, but we may use ApeSwap instead. Right? You will know as soon as we know for certain. Most metadata crypto talk. I love this. So, all that makes sense. And remember, I'm going to leave you with this. I have a lot of conversations in the Discord, and a lot of people are trying to figure out how do you play crypto and what's the right way to do it. And we're going to talk about this, but there's two quotes. The first is, you can't win a race you don't want to be in. You cannot win a race you don't want to be in. So no matter how awesome you think somebody else's strategy is, if it's not yours, you're going to lose. Never, ever, ever copy somebody else's strategy. You can understand the underlying concepts and principles behind them, and you can model it. But if you're running the wrong race, you're going to lose, even if you win. Right? So if you are chasing green candles, but your personality doesn't align with that strategy, you're going to lose. The second is this. Most people prefer the certainty of misery to the misery of uncertainty. Most people prefer the certainty of misery to the misery of uncertainty, which means a lot of people follow really bad advice. Or it's like staying in a bad relationship, even though you know it's bad. They will keep... I talked to somebody who was in 4 rug pulls in a row. 4 rug pulls in a row. Because they were taught a certain way to play this game. And even though they kept losing, they prefer, right? They prefer the certainty of misery. Meaning they rather do the thing they know, even if that thing doesn't end well, than step back and try to figure out a better way. Just like we have all been in bad relationships, even though we knew they were bad, we chose to stay in them because it was better than doing something we didn't know. And we have to break that entire mindset. I'll give you an example, and then we'll jump, because my brain is cooked today. I'll give you an example. People say, I don't want to work for money. I want to invest. I want to invest because I don't want to work for dollars per hour. And then, because it's what they know and it's what they're comfortable with, they develop strategies where they have to sit here and work. Stare at charts, and they lose 3 B&B, so they got to make back 5 B&B, and they're actually working more hours than they were at their freaking job, right? So we see a lot of people that think they're doing something new, but they're doing the exact same thing, which is why they're not making progress. I hope it makes sense. Super excited to launch with you guys. I'll get some sleep tonight and be ready to rock, get you guys excited and prepared for Thursday. And in the meantime, let's get as many people into that airdrop bot as possible. Okay, let's get another. I think we have, let me look. We had 663 members. Let's definitely crack 700 by the end of the day today, and let's push towards 1,000 for Thursday. And if you have any questions, just harass me on Telegram or Discord, and you can use this link if you want to share this with anybody.